Cool. Hey, Jacob. How are
Hey,
you?
fun. Good, thank you. And yourself?
Good. Oh my gosh, this is a different background. Let's have it black. Do you like the blue or the black? Guys, let me know if you guys like the blue or the black. Blue or the black. I'll just stick with the black.
Black works. Black works.
All right. So, guys, and I am sorry for my green screen. I think it's okay. So, guys, if you guys are just jumping in, I want you to give me a hashtag live if you're watching this live, and give me a hashtag replay if you are watching the replay. I have a very special guest today. I normally don't interview. I guess I don't do a lot of interviews anymore with non-clients because I don't know. I'm starting to get back into it, Jacob. Like I'm going to be talking to Alaric Heck. Do you know him?
Yeah.
He does YouTube ads. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And because I feel like this is in a way selfish for me because I want to talk to Jacob, but at the same time, it's not like, hey, Jacob, let's have a coffee virtually here. Let's have you be in front of my audience. And I want to dive into what makes like your story unique to me is that you managed to get amazing results for your clients who enter into your coaching program. And they are like your own army of affiliates. Like you teach people how to make income with affiliate commission at the same time. They are the affiliates to your own programs. So in a way, it's like very much inception, kind of, I don't know. And I want to dive a little bit deeper into that. Yes, Amaka is like hashtag live. Yay. Kathy says, hey, Kim and Jacob, live from New Zealand. Yes, guys, let me know where you're tuning in from, New Zealand or California. Jacob is all the way in Australia, and he is waiting on his 2 Comma Club award.
Yeah, it's going to taking its time to get down here like everything does.
All right. So, Jacob, for those of my audience who don't know who you are, can I get a little bit of an origin story? You started in 2017. Can you let me know, like, who or what got you into this crazy world of making pretty good income online?
Crazy world is a very, very good way to describe it. It's been all right. I think you and I did an interview back in maybe 2018. It was yeah. I'm recollecting that now. So I worked in the corporate game for 6-7 years out of university in Australia and in the US, and that was a lot of fun. Learned a lot about business, and but it just burnt me out. So 2017, I was living in New York, and my time there was coming to an end, and I wanted to find something different. I didn't want to go back to Australia and do the same stuff. It was kind of like going from playing in the major leagues to playing like peewee baseball or whatever you want to use as an analogy. So I didn't want to come back and do that in Australia because it's just not as fun.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to find something different. I bought a couple of books off Amazon, which I think kind of dumped me into some retargeting audiences. I'd done some online stuff about 5 or 6 years earlier, but the job was just way too busy. And then I got retargeted from Russell with his affiliate bootcamp, and I can remember the day I got hit with that ad. And it's been pretty nuts ever since. So that was for their affiliate program, which is really where everything kind of kicked off from. Did a couple of years of affiliate marketing with the guys at ClickFunnels. The trinkets that folks can see on my desk are kind of things I've collected across the journey. Did the dream car thing, and then was at a bit of a crossroads, and I was like, I can either keep going down that path or I can try and take on a new challenge. And that's when I teamed up with the dudes at Legendary Marketer, who are like a higher ticket affiliate program, and that's how I then kind of got initiated into the world of, it's pretty cool. You can sell these, $1, $2, $3, $10, $15, $20,000 information packages, and that kind of blew my mind at the time and opened my eyes to the possibilities there. So worked with them, went to some of their events, became one of their top affiliates, did a couple of launches and stuff along the way that popped up, really just refining the art of selling other people's stuff, which I think is a brilliant place to start because, there's, as you know, Kim, there's so many moving parts. Once you're the service provider, the product creator, as well as the marketer, there's so many moving parts to the whole system. And it can be a lot when you're trying to build from the ground up, especially if you're working a job or whatever. So I think if being an affiliate, there's so many good products out there. And being online, the margins are huge. So they can pay 30, 40, 50, 60% commissions. And all you have to focus on is the front end. You learn the marketing, you learn the sales, so that when you eventually want to pivot to do your own stuff, you've got the grounding in those really important skill sets. Because a lot of people can help their clients or deliver a product, but they're not as good at selling it. So it's a good grounding there. So I did that for a few years, and then mid 2019, I hit a bit of a lull personally. Money was fine. It wasn't financially anyway. I was just not fulfilled. I get a lot of energy from people. I like working with people and being around the right types of people, and just being an affiliate and working on campaigns and kind of being behind the scenes was starting to get a bit long in the tooth. So I teamed up with a couple of guys, and we, put our heads together, and having used a ton of different strategies across the journey, we really distilled down, what's the best way for people to get started in this game. And then rolled out a program, a beta program, which is called the Super Affiliate Accelerator. And then that's just kind of gone from strength to strength since the back end of 2019. And then this year I've broadened the brand a little bit to kind of be more information marketing, so I can take the lessons from that program, but it's still a very, very big piece of what we do. It also provides a nice pathway for people. They can start with the affiliate stuff and then transition into different things. So that's it in a nutshell. But yeah, it's been a hell of a ride.
Oh my gosh. Very succinct. Like this and then this and then this. It's like, it's so clear. So super cool. Oh my gosh. I remember like 2000. I remember those moments because there's a lot of crossovers with your community, my community. I was interviewing you. I'm like, hey, like, you're dream car winner, you're going places, and I was just like a random person on the internet, really going, hey, Jacob, like, what is working over there? And I remember when Legendary Marketer kind of like took over. I don't follow them too closely now, but I saw when they were like really like just all over everywhere I look. Legendary Marketer. Nikos is like, come on, I'm registered. Hey guys, if StreamYard can't see your name, I don't know, you have to allow them to see your name. But I love that Cecilia is #energy. You guys are giving us, a lot of interaction here. So let me know if you are here. Make sure that the interview, I want to make sure that this is interactive. So take the time to ask some questions, and we're going to pick a few questions from the comments. Congrats, Jacob. I remember the dream car remarketing tool. Okay, I think this is Nikos. Is this you, Nikos? I don't know. But if you're just jumping in, and RJ also told me he got started with being hit by an ad from Russell Brunson about funnels. So that was very pivotal to his journey as well. Ads are so powerful. They're disruptive, but they disrupt you in, they can completely change your life for the better or worse.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like if you click on an ad in the internet marketing space, you no doubt will find a glut of negative comments. And it's funny when you look at it more at the macro level, it's like two people can see the same ad, and one person can go, I'm going to look at this with an open mind and go, all right, what's possible? And the majority of people can kind of just go, this is bullshit. It can't be legit. Leave a negative comment and move on. The difference in direction that a little reaction to an ad can take is pretty crazy. Yeah.
And RJ, he's now 22, but he was 20 when he saw the ad, and he could easily go as a 20-year-old, like, this is nuts. Like, what is a funnel? Like, oh my gosh, all of this makes sense. I'm going to dive into it. And it's
probably better the younger you are. I think you're less of a skeptic the younger you are.
Oh yeah. So he was 18. RJ, I keep getting this wrong. So you found a way to, and this is something that I feel like it can be simple, but it's really hard to maintain. Like a lot of people go into affiliate marketing, and I remember even me, I went into affiliate marketing, I set up a share funnel, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run some solo ads, and I did that. And it wasn't it wasn't happening. It wasn't like really making the money I thought it would. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go into Chrome extensions. But for you're like, you figured it out, and you were super consistent with it, and you made the leaderboards where you're like, hey guys, like you don't have to be like you don't already have to have a big list. You showed me that at the time you can hit those leaderboards if you're just strategic and you take risks, like you do run ads and you like figure it out. Still, it's kind of murky for me because I haven't hit it big on any like affiliate marketing level. So that's also why I want to bring you in, because I want to break down some myths for my audience about affiliate marketing as well. A bunch of my group members, it started out as affiliate marketing with Kim Si Dang, even though I was horrible at affiliate marketing. I was just like, I'm gonna try this. So Kathy is like, authenticity and personal touch is key.
That's exactly right. And I think there's a point there. So you're talking about running solos and the share funnel shit that popped up early on. What we figured out is that if you want to make a long-term run at the affiliate stuff and really use it, because most people don't want to do it forever, which is cool. They ultimately want to transition into their own products, which we've had tons of students go from. They become successful affiliates and then go on and roll out their own stuff. And because they're trained the right way, they can make that transition pretty easily. If you build up a personal brand and that's what pushes the products, it's a lot easier because you're putting your face to it, which means you need to know what you're selling. And it's a lot more sustainable because you're building this audience, which is the asset that you can monetize over and over and over again with different opportunities. So yeah, Kathy's spot on with the personal touch element.
Yeah, I've heard the same with even like MLM. MLM is like, oh, you're pushing other people's stuff, but if you build a brand around yourself, it just becomes so much easier to go on this journey. All right, Facebook user, what's up, Kim and Jacob? All right. Guys, if you're just hopping in, let me know what city or state you're hopping in from. Yes, personal branding builds huge trust. So let's get into like the nitty gritty of it. So a lot of people come into affiliate marketing and then like they make money, in your case, really good commissions, and then transition into something that's like your own, your own high ticket program brand. And that was, you said, around 2019, right? 2019. Yeah,
that's right.
Yep, same over here with me.
Yeah.
I got into it going, wait, I need to like make my own stuff, or else I'm just gonna be pushing other people's stuff, which is fine. It's fine as starting out, but after a while, I didn't feel so fulfilled doing that. And hey, okay, so Mississippi, yay! I'm looking for my affiliates. Super. All right, Nico is from the Bay Area. Yay, Nico. Okay, so one of the questions I want to ask is, when you start off with your own program, what was, because, we figure out a secret sauce. We figure out like a way for things to be easier. For me, I saw that if people got success in the first month that they're in my program, they tend to stay a little bit longer, and they don't go, this doesn't work, and abandon it. For you, what were the key things when you were creating your own program? And also, what made it unique in that I saw people were earning a lot of income coming into your program and then telling others about your program? That to me was different than what I've seen out there. It's like you either buy the high ticket program to get X result, part of the X result for your community, and they love it, like Zeki, Zacky's part of it. Okay, cool. Zacky's here. Yay, Zacky. Zacky is part of your program. Yes, Ontario. This is MB, Winnipeg, MB. Okay, so yeah, what was it about? What is it that you've discovered that made people go, okay, this works faster, sooner than later, and or if it's even that? And what did you think made it like sustainably successful, other than the fact that you like work really hard to be really consistent and all those other things, unless
Yeah. No, there's a few pieces in there that we can unpack. So the very, very first question around getting people quick wins, right? So that's a hell of a lot easier if you're working with people who are already in motion, right? Like if you were to say to me, Jacob, let's roll out a new program together, it would be pretty easy for you to get me a fast result because I've already got the assets there. I've got the audience, I've got the credibility, I've got all that kind of stuff. So we could roll something out pretty quickly, right? When you're working with people who are completely fresh, right? Like completely new, it's pretty hard to get like a near instant financial result. So what you've got to show them is even if you aren't making immediate financial gains, you're still making progress, right? And so we talk about this concept in my program called there's like 3 layers of results. You've got quantifiable monetary results, right? AKA I made some money. You've got quantifiable non-monetary results, which is like, hey, it's awesome. I was able to generate some leads. I was able to gather some emails. I was able to have some sales conversations with people. And then we've got non-quantifiable, non-monetary results, which is like I set up my Facebook profile, I got my group growing, all these kind of things. So when you're working with people from very, very early on, you've got to lay out a roadmap that shows them, making progress along the way, even if it's not a raw financial gain. And then that helps them kind of stick with it because they can see that they're moving in the right direction, right? It's like, okay, I've got these things set up. I've shifted my perspective on these things. Now my group's growing. I'm getting some leads. And ultimately that's going to lead to the sale, right? They're all the leading indicators that lead into the money coming. So you've got to give people that roadmap to follow. And the other thing you've got to do as well is show them that, look, there's these other folks that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago were exactly where you are. And they did all these things. They did these things that got them, non-financial results. And now they're seeing the fruits of their labor, so to speak, and getting the financial results. So it's kind of both a pushing and pulling mechanism to get them moving from the start. The more you can get people involved in a community, the more you can get them showing up to the calls where you can kind of yell at them each week and tell them that they need to be, doing the work, all that kind of stuff. All of those things help. But with that all said, the burn inside has got to be big enough, right? And one thing I've learned is that the excitement of what's possible has to be bigger for them than the pain of staying where they currently are. And that's the case with anything in life if you're trying to make a big shift, right? Like the excitement and the upside of what you're trying to do needs to outweigh how difficult it is to kind of just keep doing what you're doing. Otherwise, why would you change, right? You just stay in the same spot. So there's 2 elements. It's both how you structure it for them, but then, there's got to be the internal element. And you can play a role in that too by showing them that it's achievable for them and making them believe that it is possible. So I think that kind of answers the first question. With some of the newer programs that I've rolled out where I'm working with more experienced people, we probably do a similar thing to you where we've got a section called like our instant ROI. So they come in and then there's a couple of strategies they can use to make back their investment a couple of times over in the first month or so. But yeah, that is a bit trickier when you're working with people from absolute scratch because they don't have leads, they don't have an audience, they don't have the skills yet, because it's just where they're at. And then in terms of so we rolled out a beta program. We got 40 people into that. That's back end of 2019. We worked with those folks for about 2 to 3 months. And then we opened it up to the public. And your question around, so just for the folks on the call to know what we do. So we teach affiliate marketing. We teach a lot of personal branding strategies to do it, and we focus on higher ticket products, because that's where, a lot of my experience comes from. Because we kind of, drink our own Kool-Aid, so to speak, we have an affiliate program as well. That's exclusively offered to our members. So I'm big on reputation management, quality control around affiliates. So I only let people sell my stuff if they're actually a customer. That means we can keep closer tabs on what's happening, rather than it being something that gets put on ClickBank and has tens of thousands of affiliates promoting it. So the training that they get teaches them to sell and monetize whatever they want. And honestly, it could be transitioned to your own product as well. It's just the foundations of marketing and sales. It's applicable to any product. You could sell a physical product, you could sell an event, you could sell any affiliate offer. Like it's universally applicable. It's just that we've kind of niched down to the high ticket affiliate space. But we over-delivered so much in terms of the time commitment we've given people, the length of access we've given people, the amount of content we've given people, that there's just never been anything that's come close to it in terms of what we do, and the results that we've been able to generate, which naturally means people are really, really excited to promote it, which creates that great flywheel effect for us, where we come in, they come in, we give them a good experience, and naturally they want to talk to people about it, and we compensate them very well for it. So, the better our students do, the more money we make as well as a program, which then in turn, the more money they make, which means they make more results, and it all kind of snowballs. And that was a big key to it, it really blowing up and hitting that two Comma Club award earlier in the year. I think the other thing that made it quite successful too was, you see in the market, people make the transition to being the coach really quickly, when they've not done the thing that they're coaching on. I spent, 2 years in the game, winning a bunch of awards, refining the craft, and building a ton of credibility in that space before I went and rolled out that offer. So you kind of have this like rubber band effect, where the rubber band's being pulled back over months and years, people going, I want to work with this guy, I want to know how he can help me, and you're not quenching that thirst. So when you ultimately roll something out, it is naturally going to get a lot of attention, and that's why we were able to put like 40 people into the beta in like a month, when we rolled it out. So I think there's something to be said for paying your dues and really refining your craft, which I think is a massive problem in the coaching space at the moment.
Oh man, that was so much that you unpacked. So I'm going to summarize it for those who are just jumping in. And hey guys, Tani just jumped in. There's 12 of you guys watching live right now. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're just jumping in, Tani, and Kathy has a question. All right, we'll get into the questions in just a bit. So what you unpacked, and I'll share with you like what's worked for me as well. And I kind of want to ask you like more advanced, like deeper questions from CEO to CEO, like the different levels and how you have to change as you reach certain like income levels with your coaching. I'm very curious about that. But for those of you just hopping on, I want to give you the value of summarizing what Jacob said. So number one was that if your program have people coming in from all over the place, as in different levels, they need to feel that they're making progress in 3 ways. And that is money results, that's quantifiable, and then non-monetary results, and then non-quantifiable, non-monetary results, so that they feel like, okay, I went in and I did this, and at least this got me there. And they attribute that to your program, versus if you just focus on the monetary result and you're like, this program is all about monetary, and they're creating like non-monetary progress in your program, they would feel like, like I've let you down. I didn't do that 10K month, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's really important. That is so important, what you said right there. And,
yeah, especially with beginners, because it's just not going to happen that you're going to fly out of the gate and make all that money. So you have to give them something else to cling on to.
Oh man, that's freaking brilliant. For myself, Jacob, for us, we help entrepreneurs and coaches make an extra 5 to 6 figures per month with their Facebook group. It's very niche because, you know, one of my Chrome extensions helps people with Facebook groups. So I'm like, oh, that's the next level for them. And what we do is we really force them to do their conversion event in the first month they're in our program. And it's really, really tied to like the monetary success. So Cecilia, she got into our program within 2 weeks. She did her conversion event, which is a 5-day training for her. She chose that model and she got her first like 3K client. Whereas before it was just like, you know, like $200 here, $500 there kind of thing. And so that's what's worked for me. I've put them in this telescopic like mode of do this conversion event and you're gonna be able to have like the success so that you could feel that cash flow coming in. And then like you can go and do the scaling, you know, team building and all the
sustainability.
Yeah, so that's what's been working for us, but it's so great that you integrate the other types of successes. That is something that I haven't tried. And then another thing is you're great with reputation management. Most high ticket programs that I see out there, they're like they enroll and they enroll and they enroll, and they make more money on more enrollments than on word of mouth affiliate commission, or, you know, like their affiliates going and talking to other people, even if their results are great. So I'm very like fascinated by your focus on reputation management. That's really interesting to me, and how you go about that. And then, of course, you went into coaching after you've already had the accolades and the results to prove that this is something you can teach versus just diving into it. Now, I'm going to admit, I started teaching Chrome extensions literally the week that I made like $1,500 for my first Chrome extension. I'm like, guys, I'm going to open up a course at $7. I just started teaching. So I'm guilty. I'm one of those.
Yeah, but I think that's a little bit different as well. Like, the problem that you're seeing in the market now is like the claims that you said $7, right? You made 1,500. No one's getting hurt for that. The problem in the market at the moment is you've got these idiots who have done nothing, achieved nothing, making these insanely bold claims of stuff that I wouldn't even make it now. And I've done it 100 times over. I still wouldn't make the claims that some of these people are making because it's like a lawsuit waiting to happen. And I don't know how they can front up and say these things to people when they've not done them. Just ask your affiliate marketing coach. Okay, what affiliate programs did you promote before you became an affiliate coach? Like, people can see that behind me. I've done it. Ask your coach. All right, well, what program did you scale before you started coaching coaches? Like, it's a simple question.
Yeah,
it's not that hard to ask, and they're either going to have an answer for it or they're not. Right. Yeah. And I'm not calling people out. Like, it's just the reality. You just get validation that they know what they're talking about.
Yeah. And, you know, maybe because I stay in my world, I'm like, people are like, Kim, have you heard of this person or that person and that person? Yeah. I'm like, no, I'm just like in my world.
That's good. That's really smart because it's toxic, man. There's some bad stuff out there. You got to ignore it. You just need to stay in your lane.
Oh, man. Okay, well, that is what I'm doing. But at the same time, because I'm doing that, I'm not, you know, I didn't know about the managing expectations the way that you're doing it. Freaking brilliant. And then, so let's get a audience question in.
Yeah, drop them.
Because I said I would. So Kathy says, what do you suggest for people who are comfortable building a program but not comfortable coaching? So
yeah,
Kathy. Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting question. I mean, I guess are you not comfortable? Is it the coaching you're not comfortable with, or is it the act of going live or getting on a call, right? Because if you know this stuff enough to build a program around it, I don't think it's the coaching of the topic that's the problem for you. It sounds like it might be the doing it in a live setting that there's kind of nerves around. So I think you can do one without the other. You can have a course without being a coach. But I'd get in check with what's the actual blockage. Is it coaching, as in you're not confident in your subject matter, or is it, in which case the course may be tricky anyway, or is it that you're just not comfortable delivering it in a live setting? In which case you can ease into that. Yeah. So it's not the coaching, it's the delivery of it. So yeah, you start with pre-recorded stuff, and then I start doing a bit of 1-to-1 over Zoom, get comfortable with that, then do maybe 1-to-3, 1-to-10, and then all of a sudden it's no problem. Right.
Yeah.
It's just ease into it that way.
Yeah. And I've also noticed, like, one of my clients, he's a boss client. He's very introvert. A lot of people getting in technology are, surprisingly, shocker. But so the way that he dealt with audience building was, he's scared to go live. So he recorded himself first and uploaded that. And that got some eyeballs, and that got things rolling. And then stepping into doing one-on-one Zooms with people, or just over the phone. So you don't even see each other. There's no face. It's just voice, and easing it into that way. Yeah. So Kathy's like, awesome. Thanks. You are welcome. This is why we're doing this interview as well. So Jacob, I want to ask you some questions, like a little bit more high level. What are the challenges you face as you were going, when you're doing like 20K months? It's different than, the 80K months, 100K months kind of style. Like I saw that people that were doing around 80 to 100K, more so their challenges like delivery, fulfillment. Like what were the challenges that you saw people would face if they were to go and create their own high ticket program, and maybe like some personal challenges that you encountered yourself, and how did you like course correct, or how did you figure that problem out? And I'll give you some examples of my own as well.
Sure. Yeah. So there's a couple. I mean, the what is it, 2 or 3 quickest hires I'd be picking up are an assistant of some kind. Be that your partner, right? My girlfriend helps me out with a lot of stuff, so I would consider her my assistant in that regard. I've had different ones online across the journey, but it's just easier. She's at home and can do it. Someone to do the tech support would be, the sooner you can get that off your plate, the better. And your finances, like pay $500 a month, whatever it is, for a good bookkeeper, accountant, so you're not at the end of the day trying to reconcile your zero accounts and your taxes and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'd be making those 3 hires pretty quickly if you're looking to go beyond kind of 15, 20K a month. And the other thing I'd be trying to get my finger on the pulse with is who out there in the market can I bring on as like a mini me, like I work with 2 dudes who help coach in SAA, who have been there from the beginning, and it wouldn't be what it is without them, because I know I can trust them to go live in the group and teach stuff, both all of the strategy, but also they have particular areas of expertise. So they're probably the 4 I'd really try and get in place ASAP. And so you've got an assistant, tech support, a financial, be it a financial advisor or an accountant, probably an accountant, and then starting to, a student that you've worked with directly can be a good person to bring under you, but starting to have someone who you can really, 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 really trust to interact directly with your clients. So if I look back, the issues that we ran into, piracy is one. It's always going to happen.
Oh my gosh, that is huge.
And you can do as much as you want to try and avoid it, but it's pretty tricky. You're gonna have people come and try and attack you. I know you've had issues with this, Kim. You've bumped into different people across the journey. Yep. We all experience it. As soon as you put yourself out there, and Kathy, don't let this deter you from becoming a coach. As soon as you put your hand up and say, I'm a leader, I make money, I can help people in some way, you're putting a target on your back. And there's 2 ways you can deal with it. you can either you can go on the offense publicly and aggressively, but you're just giving them what they want, or, and this is how I've always tried to handle things, as hard as it is, as much as I want to get on a plane and go find them, you bite your tongue and you starve them of any attention, because that's what they're seeking. They just want attention. They got nothing else in them, right? All they can do, like I've had people across the journey who I would literally say have become borderline like obsessed. It's creepy. It's real creepy. Just don't give them the oxygen. Starve them. So that's another thing you're going to bump into as soon as you start sharing numbers and all that kind of stuff. I would say make sure that you talk about delivery, have that dialed in at the 10, 15, 20K point before you try and grow it. So our program is probably not as high ticket as yours. Ours is more course with a bit of coaching bolted onto it, as opposed to being coaching first and then materials. So we've had, it's currently 2.5 and it's jumping up to 3. So it's not going to be as expensive as your stuff. I would imagine.
Yeah, ours is 12K
to
36K now.
Yeah.
Oh wow. That's
so
cool.
So my personal stuff now is more than that, but the affiliate stuff is priced at that. So that the components of that are a course, a Facebook group, email, tech support, and the calls each week in the group, and then there's support threads in the group and stuff like that. So I would get that as organized as possible before you try and grow it, because if it's broken and there's people complaining early, as soon as you add more people to that, it's just going to get infinitely worse. And Stripe is getting more and more anal about chargebacks. You'll have your account. Like we've had on SAA, so we've got 650 members in there. We've had 4 chargebacks in nearly 2 years, which is low. And these are people that have just bought it and then their wife or their husband's gone, they've just gone rogue, right? And we can't get in touch with them to talk about it. So we've had 4 in 2 years, and it just so happened we had 2 in a month. Stripe's currently got a 50% garnish on our Stripe account for 6 weeks. They're keeping 50% of all receipts.
Wow.
So they are becoming incredibly stressed out, and I think it's because they're going to IPO. That's what I've been told. So they're trying to clean up the books. But yeah, they are so on it right now. So you just need to make sure it's tight. Make sure the delivery process is really, really tight. Make sure that people know exactly where to go to get the support. Make sure that you reinforce that like near on daily. Otherwise, as soon as you scale, the first place they're going is your Facebook Messenger, and you're going to end up with, hundreds of people messaging you going, how do I do this? How do I do that? And you are going to hate life so fast. It's not even funny. So set up the rules and the system ASAP to support people as much as you are offering in the product, and make sure that is tested and battle tested and stress tested, whatever you want to call it, before you try and grow it. Shit's still going to break, but make it as ironclad as you can before you start to grow it. That's going to be the biggest thing. Delivery is going to be the biggest problem, and then you start juggling merchants and stuff like that.
Like juggling merchants, that's like the next level kind of thing, because my coach, he processes quite a bit, and he's like, well, I just opened ACH with my bank, and so he's collecting through ACH. He's splitting up a lot of the payments across multiple platforms to try to avoid like Stripe being like the main thing. So wire
it's tricky for us though, because ours integrates with our affiliate software. So we're really limited in the merchants we can use because it needs a native integration with that. So it is what it is. But yeah, they're becoming, you can't operate like the wild west days where people would have 40% refund rates or 20% chargeback rates and all that. It's not going to fly. And you shouldn't. Your goal should be to minimize every one of those metrics.
Yeah, that is so true. Oh my gosh. Stripe charges, they look at your number of transactions. So I don't think they like above 3%, or like if it's 3%, they're like, oh my gosh, something's wrong. Something's really wrong. RJ's like, with First Promoter, they have limited integrations. That's
the affiliate software we use is First Promoter. And they've been good. Those guys have been good. We've put 1.3 million through it at this point, and they've been fine. They're pretty responsive in terms of support, so I can't speak highly enough. Definitely better than Chinese ClickFunnels Backpack, or I've tried Kajabi's affiliate stuff. I'm using that for another little side offer that I'm running, and it's pretty good, but the reporting is still kind of shitty. But the good thing about Kajabi is they're so responsive to feedback. They get it done. So I think pretty quickly Kajabi's affiliate stuff will come up to speed because I've been yelling at them in support. So
I have Kajabi as well and First Promoter. RJ actually helped me with my First Promoter thing. I really like First Promoter. The thing that I do have friends like Christine Seal, she has 500 plus affiliates for Go High Level. So she's sitting really pretty with the passive income. And she's like, oh, they still don't let me export the emails automatically kind of thing. It's like you have to do it manually. So trying to find a solution for that in the form of a Chrome extension or something like that. But
she's got the right person.
Right. But just to share with you some insight for us, since we sell the group coaching higher package thing, we also add software to it in smaller little tiny chunks and packages. So our number of transactions actually are ginormous compared to the higher ticket transactions. So it has helped mitigate against that percentage, that 3% threshold, just because we have a lot of little tiny mini teeny tiny purchases.
Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to add some $1 products to dilute it.
Yes. No, I'm serious. And not only $1 products or $10 products, but something that is consistently, monthly charge for that thing. For us, we have a graduates package. So if they don't get it, there's a graduates package. We take people through a 5-day training, and then they can go and buy the $7 a month graduates package, which is smaller, teeny level, but it helps with the threat of the chargeback.
Yeah, I like that. I've never thought about it from that perspective. Yeah.
That's my value add. I value
There you go.
You know,
all right, we're done.
You share with me some stuff. I share with you some things.
Very good.
But I'm curious about I feel like what's unique about you, Jacob, is your people just talk about you in a more frantic, not frantic, but they want to share your stuff even more and they benefit from that. What got you into reputation management and what brought that strength? Because here's what I've seen. Most of the high ticket coaching programs that I invest in, $30,000. I invested in a program that's $40,000 2 months ago. I just paid it. It's they don't have that reputation management as a strong thing, and I feel like that's a really good that's something to look into. I want to figure out that portion. And you say your backbone is First Promoter, which is great, but how do you have a whole affiliate training how ClickFunnels have affiliate boot camp? Do you have a boot camp?
Yeah, well, I guess it's a natural alignment because it's what we teach, right? So we've got a natural, built-in advantage of we're going to have loyal affiliates, or we're going to have affiliates because that's what we're teaching them to do. So it's a natural, it's congruent, right? Like they're learning, and then we'd be hypocritical not to have our own offering. But we're also really, big on empowering them to sell whatever it is that they want. We in no way pigeonhole them. If they want to recommend us, which a lot of them are happy to do because we give them so much stuff, right? Like I did a live on Wednesday morning in the group, and that's coming up on weekly for 2 years. And some of the beta testers have been in there for $1,000 and they've been in there for 2 years. Like, and as I learn new stuff, I bring that to them. It was more about building a movement of people. It's a cliche, but it was more about building this bigger, movement than the raw economics of it. We could have made a lot more money if we'd, we're just about to roll out a 2.0. If we'd sold that to everybody, we could have made, another couple of $100,000. But I'm giving it to them because it keeps that community, which is really important with affiliates, right? They need to buy into the vision of what you guys do and the product. And if they're out, because if you think it's hard to get people to buy something, try get people to sell something for you. That's like infinitely harder.
Yeah.
Like it's easy to get someone to pull out their wallet and give you $5,000 by comparison to getting people to get off their butt and sell on your behalf, right? With no salary, no like guarantees of making money. That's is really tricky. So you've got to really get them to buy into what you're doing, and they need to feel confident because they're putting their name on the line, right? And the reputation management point, Kim, that's so in my journey as an affiliate, where a lot of affiliates go wrong is they will try and promote 50,000 different things. It's like whatever they can get their hands on, they'll sell, which is a problem. Whereas if like I worked with ClickFunnels, KBB, and Legendary, they were like maybe a couple of little other ones across 2 years, but for the most part, it was only 3 companies. And the reason I could promote them so well is because I knew each of them inside out. I dropped nearly $20,000 with Legendary to buy all their stuff so I could see everything, right?
Yeah.
And so when we rolled out our affiliate offer, we had big names come to us and say, let us in so we can promote it. We had people saying, can we put it on the networks? And I'm like, no, because as soon as anyone can sign up, they can't see what we're doing on the inside. They can't see how, every week our coaches get up there and speak with like raw emotion in their voice because they just want to help people. They want to help them. And if you're just an affiliate who just gets a link and then starts slinging it around the internet, you can't possibly buy into that experience, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we've made less money, right? I think if we'd opened up the affiliate program, it'd be at 2, 3, 4 million maybe. And maybe that's me being stupid, but it was more important for me to have 4 chargebacks and a very, very strong culture than raw economics. Because once you learn how to make money, you can make money. It goes beyond that.
Yeah, that's so true. And I love that I hear your passion so clearly, through the camera. What is it? That's where you talk about staying in your lane, right? So easy to get distracted with shiny objects. Yeah. What I've learned is that in order to be successful with like anything, because I have an e-commerce company for 7 years, it's making money passively. And then I got into software after the e-com, and that's doing well. And then I got into coaching after that. And I saw that in order to be truly successful, most people set aside time to do that extra side project, and they would devote probably like 25% of their energy. So it's like right here, which still doesn't result in massive success. And then a few more percentage will go at it like from 50 to 80%. And I feel like that's not enough. That's not enough. You have to like go all the way to the very last 99% of people who won't do it, who would stick through it month after month through like all the things, and then really dive deep and pour their attention into all the way over there. That's the level of success I feel like you achieve, or like I achieve with Chrome extensions. It's only because I'm willing to go all the way there, like completely there. And
you've got to be, it's a throwaway, but you've got to be prepared to do what other people won't. Like the launch for mastermind.com, which people know as KBB, which is like Dean and Tony and Russell.
Yeah.
That was back in 2019. And because I'm in Australia, like you're on the West Coast, right?
Yeah, California.
Yes. So you're 17 hours behind me.
Yeah.
It's different worlds. And with a launch like that, where you're cranking huge ad spend and new links are getting dropped at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like I had 6 weeks where I flipped my schedule. I worked through the night to do that launch for 6 weeks. I didn't sleep. I slept a bit during the day, but because it was so competitive, and it's like most, and I'm not, I'm it's just because I'm weird and I enjoy that shit. But most people wouldn't do that, right? Like they're just not, they're not going to do something like that. They're not going to change their schedule for 6 weeks and stay up all night for a launch. So yeah, and a lot of that comes down to the subject matter too. Like you've got to be excited about what you're doing. Otherwise it's a drag to try and do, things like that.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, that I didn't know that. That's what you did. But
yeah,
this is also why I want to talk to you, because I'm like, what is the level like did you go to for like these things that enable success? Because on the outset looking in, I don't know, and that's why I'm like, what's going on over there?
Yeah, and I'm a pretty closed book. Like I should probably share more. I'm not big on like, they talk, the ClickFunnels world's very big on being vulnerable, and I'm not that way. I'm just like, just do the work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I probably should share more stuff like that. Like when I started my group back when you and I did that initial interview, I was working full time and doing 60, 70, 80 hours. And I would run home in my lunch break to do a live because that aligned with the time zone. Like it's just little weird shit that most people aren't going to do,
Absolutely.
I'd get there, I'd be in my suit from the office and I'd be all sweaty because I've just run up the street and it's always like 400 degrees here. It's just little things along the way that if you don't do them, it's probably not going to come off, because it's pretty tricky to make this whole game work in the big scheme of things. Yeah.
And here's a high level question, not high level, I would say a question I ask personally. I'm like, at what point is it a reality where you're like, okay, I'm here, I have X amount of clients at X dollars. So my journey is, let's do more higher dollar with X more clients. Like at what point do you feel like where does it head to? Like what in your head, in your perspective, like, is it something that you're like, I want to do this for the next 10 years and max out the number of clients, like what's your motivation and what's in your thinking? And I'll share mine. For me, I want to take because coaching and consulting is very much high revenue, high cash, take that high cash and invest it into the things that give me more passive income, one of which is software. And then so like the long game is to be able to probably go into bigger software for me, where I can outspend the cost to acquire a client for a competitor that might be at a higher level, but it's because I have that cash coming in so that I can push it there. So that's in my head, that's like, okay, that's where I maybe want to go at this. Like for you, what does your timeline look like, and what are your goals?
Yeah, I mean, mine's got a couple of arms to it. So I wouldn't say I've got a ton of clarity where the brand goes long term. I've just in the last 6 months kind of pivoted out of the affiliate space and gone a bit broader. So I'd say that's what it looks like for the next couple of years at least. And then I've set up a separate arm to the business, which is an investing arm. So I've got a finance background. So it's really a matter of generate cash, as you said, online, and where can I redeploy that? So that's both investment and brick and mortar businesses that I want to get into. I've got an operational business background from the consulting that I used to do. So I want to get back into using those skills as well. Now that I've got the marketing and the sales side of it, and that was one of the reasons I got into the space initially, was because I've got a finance and an operating business background with what I used to do in America and Australia, but I didn't have the marketing. So now I've got that. So for me, it was a bit of a rounding out the skill set. So we've got the investment arm of the business set up now where, that one can kind of talk to the other and fund the other. And it's about for me, it's just staying open to opportunities and being flexible. Real estate. I've got a big passion for wine. I'd like to get into the wine business in some way. Be that via a vineyard or, investing in a vineyard or partnering with someone, or even just, the bar scene, or just something different. Because I think when you're so online and sitting at your desk all day and not seeing people, especially with this COVID stuff, like it's air, like there's nothing you can grab onto. So I really want to get into, more offline business as well. So for me, that's kind of the feeder. And then the online thing, I don't really know where that all goes. I'm kind of taking that quarter by quarter at the moment.
Yeah, no, that's awesome to hear you're pursuing like these tentacles, these other ways, because you've achieved how to do marketing and figure out the finance on that level. And I feel like it's very transferable, the skills.
Yeah.
If we know how to do marketing, it's like there's very little other things that we can't get into and amplify, whether that's brick and mortar. I was thinking even my e-com company, I'm like, I haven't visited that, but if I apply my marketing knowledge to that, maybe I would have more warehouses, I haven't even done the customers.
The brick and mortar in Australia hardly use digital marketing. Like there was a steak restaurant just down, I live in an apartment building, and there was a steak restaurant just down the road that was awesome. Their food was unbelievable. They just closed because they couldn't get enough foot traffic. If you did something as simple as a Facebook ad within 5 kilometers of, or I don't know what that is in miles, 3 miles of that steak restaurant with a little video saying, come in and visit us. We've got this specialized steak. They used to do this unique thing. You spend $20 a day, and then the other thing I always see opportunity too is like when someone gets in the door, they put the menu down, let us know when you're ready to order. There's no system to it, right? It's like, no, give them the starter menu, right? And don't give them an option. Just say, what starter would you like, right? Or if they pick $100 bottle of wine, say, oh, if you like that Pinot, we've got 3 left in the cellar of this $200 wine. None of them do this, like little tweaks. So I think there's so much from like the sales funnel, sales heavy online marketing world that can be brought to the brick and mortar world, where if you take a restaurant as an example, if you can bump up your average table value 20, 30, 40%, that's a massive difference. Huge difference. And it's all profit at that point because the person's already there, they're buying the steak, as an example. So if you can squeeze an extra $100 out of the bottle of the wine, or $50 out of dessert, or $100 out of entrees, or, do you want seafood on top? Like there's just so many little things that they don't do, that I think can be adopted. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I have a really funny story. I was in Las Vegas about 2 weeks ago, and we're a bunch of marketers hanging out together, and we were at this restaurant that either you buy your food for like $60, $70, and you get like a portion that you eat just normally, or we got upsold into buying $150 per head and then being able to sample like all these plates. And we looked at the waiter and we're like, we appreciate the upsell. I appreciate the upsell. So for some brick and mortars that upsell, it works out really well. But we also went, and I don't know if this is something, I'm going to keep it super PG. We went to a strip club to watch the fight. And at the strip club, we literally like we took out $1,000 of $1 bills, and it was this big stack, and we put it in the middle of the table, kind of like saying, hey, you know, we have money here, we're gonna give it to you. And barely any of the strippers walked by. Barely any of the strippers were like, hey, what's going on with that huge stack right there? So one of my friends, his name is Ross, he's like, oh, if only there was something in the middle of the table that they can click where it like summons a stripper, or like, you know, just saying, hey, come. And none of that. Like there was none of that. So I don't know. We were getting.
There's tons of opportunity. There's tons of opportunity. You just gotta. And so yeah, my background is turnaround. So we used to turn around failing businesses, and I don't think that's a field you'd want to get into because then you're on the clock. But if you can get into businesses that are break even, right? They're not burning money, but they're just not making money, and they're already, you know, they're wiping their face, they're paying their rent, they're paying their staff. Every extra percentage point that you can extract from a customer is it goes straight to the bottom line. So yeah, I think there's a ton of opportunity out there, and I think there's room for. I think consumers are become, especially in Australia, like people are really prepared to pay for something unique. Like they will pay good money. Like my girlfriend and I just flew down to Sydney for dinner to go to this restaurant because everything's cooked on fire. It's this dude who like trained in the hills in Spain, learning to cook everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Like they don't have gas, they don't have electricity in the building. It's just fire. Like they do a salad on the fire, they do lettuce on the fire. And we flew down to Sydney, so we paid for airfares, we paid for accommodation just to go to this restaurant. People will pay for something unique and different. And what we were talking about while we were sitting there having dinner is it's like restaurants like this, I think it was $200 a head or something. It wasn't crazy. Like there's degustation menus that get way more exy than that.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is a very like one and done thing. Like we're probably not going to go back. It was good, but it's just not an experience that you would do over and over and over again. And we were even talking there, like if the chef did, you know, a 2-day event up in the hinterland where he shows people how he does it, and it's like $5,000, all the bankers and stuff that are going there with their, you know, with their girlfriends, and like they would buy that shit. Like there's so many businesses that are capped out, right? And this is where Russell's become so famous, is because he's such a good lateral thinker when it comes to offer creation. There's so many opportunities.
Yeah. Kathy's like, there's an opportunity right there, Jacob. Wink. Kathy, hey guys, we are at the end of this interview because I respect Jacob's time, and it's an hour. It felt like it flew by really quickly. So just super quick snap questions here. What book are you reading now? If you're reading any book or audio book, what person are you following, if you're following anyone? And what course have you bought or invested in recently that you're like, hey, this is valuable stuff. Like, I got this and it's super valuable. And if it exists or not, because you might not buy any course at all.
No, I do. I buy lots. I'm reading, I think I've got 3 books on the go at the moment. I'm reading The War of Art, which is about overcoming like mental blocks and resistance. I typically read that in the morning. I have them like floating around the house. So depending on what time of day it is, I'll pick up a different book, which is stupid. I should just read one. But anyway, is what it is. The War of Art, The Surrender Experiment, which is about a dude who he grew a really successful company. He used to be a bit of a hippie, and yeah, interesting story. And then I'm rereading No BS Wealth Attraction by Dan Kennedy, just because it's such a good book. Anything Dan Kennedy is like gold. And then I've been watching a lot of Alex Hormozi lately, his YouTube channel. I like his stuff. His channel's blowing up at the moment. He'll be at 100,000 before he knows it. I don't watch. I'm trying to think who else I watch. I don't really watch anyone else. And then recently invested in a mastermind with a dude named Travis Sago, who's been in the internet marketing game for a very long time and has a really unique perspective on things.
Oh, what's his unique perspective?
So I've always struggled with working too much. I've just run myself into the ground repeatedly. I'm not too proud to admit that I can, go and say there's a different way to do things. There's an easier way. I've got by a lot on hustle, right? Like I've worked really, really hard, probably harder than I needed to, in a lot of cases. So where there's people who have a view of the world, he's big on tapping into existing assets, right? Like tapping into things that are already there to produce financial gain. If a business has already got, a customer list that they're not using, how could you insert yourself there and help them extract more money and take a clip of that where it's easier financial results? He also just has a very contrarian perspective on a lot of things. And, where you typically look at things and go, that's just the way that it is. He's really good at getting you to go, well, why can't it be different? Why does it have to be that way? Not accepting things are the way they are, which I think as a marketer, if you can start questioning those norms, presents a lot of opportunity.
Oh man, that is so good. That is so good. One of my coaches, Alex Jamasco, he's like, the reason why people invest in you after all the information, after all that stuff will plateau. But it's because of your unique perspective. It's that
leadership
thing that makes you that people like at your level are investing in, because more information is just everywhere.
Right. And that's how you create a genuine moat around your business as well.
Oh man, I love that.
Yeah. Results and your unique perspective will be your best moat.
Yeah, I've been binging Alex Becker recently. He's like, I don't know. He talks about the moat and stuff as well, and I find it really interesting how he is getting deep into Hyros, this software, and it's a way to build the moat. You can't just have a Kajabi platform. But anyways, I respect your time, Jacob. I really enjoyed hanging out with you. Guys, you can hear Jacob's passion, and he's like crazy with like his community, affiliate. So you do have to, you want to make sure you connect with him. And also Zeki was here. Zeki is also one of his students, to go in and get into his program. So where can they go to look at everything you have and enroll in if they want to figure out how to take their affiliate game to the next level?
Easiest way is just to go to jacobcaris.com, and then we have an email thing you can subscribe to, and then that'll send you a link to our Facebook group and my YouTube channel and my podcast. It'll very quickly indoctrinate you into the whole kind of ecosystem. That's my Facebook there directly, which is great. If you want to ping me a message and chat about anything, I can't promise how fast I'll get back to you, but I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. So happy to chat. I've got the Facebook group, the links on my profile as well. But yeah, easiest is just to head to the website and and then opt in with your email, and then that'll push you to all the relevant platforms that we got going on, which is far too many.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Jacob, connecting with you. And guys, just a quick reminder, our live event for our GroupConvert and Chromeboss World emerging together is in August the 19th to the 22nd. We have a few tickets left. So make sure you go ahead if you're interested in leveraging that, again, the unique perspective that you get from being in your industry and transforming it into your next phase, which is software. That's where the event will be held, and it's workshop style environment. And I would love to see you there because for me, really with more clients and more coaches and more things, it feels like we get this very unfair advantage of figuring out problems to solutions that we can package up. And with that, there's a level that we can deliver and help our people on a one-to-many scale that's possible. And that's also why I have the event as well. So we have a few tickets left, so make sure that you go and you message me or you message one of my team members to get a ticket. Other than that, I think that's it. Go follow Jacob. And selfishly, this interview was for me to talk to Jacob. But yeah, it's great that you guys are around and super active today. So thank you so much. And Cecilia's like, this is an amazing interview. Kathy says, great interview. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Jacob. I'm going to click end broadcast and I'll say bye to you super quick. All right.
Oh yeah, if you like that video, then you will love all the resources that I have over at kimcdang.com. That is KIMCDANG.com. There you will find all my courses, my extensions, all the offers that I have, as well as a lot of free resources if you are just getting started.